back in the days you couldn't say you were the best and that be that because you have a hot video out. You had to prove it. So if you said, I'm the best in the Bronx or so-and-so, so-and-so, or Queens or Brooklyn, whatever, you had to prove that.
Manhattan keeps on making it, Brooklyn keeps on taking it, Bronx keeps creating it, and Queens keeps on faking it.
Battling was about skills. It was about what you could do on the mic. So doing that against somebody like who's the baddest was just exhilarating, and it took you lyrically to the next level. It challenged you lyrically to be better.
So here's a paragraph written on behalf of the ruler, dictator, lord, and ambassador, making a massacre. You couldn't last through a round of combat where my left arm's at, my mouth with the mic in my hand for my attack.
Brothers would battle, you know, and you would sit there and write all the time to sharpen your skills and to stay on point.
I'm a soldier at war, I'm making sure you don't try to battle me no more. Got concrete rhymes, been rapping for 10 years, and even when I'm bragging, I'm being sincere.
It's just the essence of hip-hop, you know. That goes back to the game of dozens, that hierarchy that exists amongst teenage boys, and whoever can command the center of attention for the longest period of time inherits a dominant position in the clique. Then you have this boy who's rapping, who's the best, and he has all the other rappers kind of feeling it, so he becomes dominant.
This ain't a battle, it's WrestleMania, the ultimate contest of skill. And for those who think I'm over the hill, WrestleMania is my new slogan. Say my prayers, eat my vitamins like Hulk Hogan. Got my python pumping, I can't be hurt. You see the Macho Man on my t-shirt.
Everything that we would rhyme about was always about fantasizing about being the toughest or being the strongest or being the fastest. So the competition would always come from the fact that if one guy got on and rocked and then somebody got on after him and didn't, the crowd was like the Apollo. They would just let you know right off the bat.
And that was really, you know, the excitement was like a boxing match without the, you know, the fisticuffs, without the violence.
Yo, this beat is stupid, friend. Oh, yeah, you know it goes just a threat. Of course, the rest is cool.
When we came out and we did the answer to Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, everybody was like, y'all got nerves to go up against Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick.
And back then, it was all on wax, and it was all good.
If you had a problem with another MC, you don't have to fight. Take it to the stage. You know, you guys do a battle.
Well, the one that really kind of signified the whole term of battle was Kumo D and Busy B on the tapes that were going around. They had a lot of underground tapes in New York. It was the first of its kind that people were like all up in arms about.
What's my name? Well, I know you and y'all know me, so I welcome y'all to the place to be.
It was a big rap contest in Harlem World. I was the greatest. Everybody knew I was the greatest. I was the best. I was always winning.
And at this time, I was just hosting this one. You know, it's like I was one of the elites, one of the few that had a record out at the time. And Busy B got on, and he just started talking about, you know, he took a picture with the trophy, and he's the best rapper.
I go with the bob, dang it. Come on. Right now, y'all, well, it's time to prepare for the #1 rapper of the year.
And at the end of all my rhymes, after I usually win, it was like, until I meet my match, I'm going to have some fun. Until then, everybody knows Busy B is #1.
Busy had no idea that I was like going off to the side to like plan a little surprise.
You're not #1, you're not even the best, and you can't win no real empty contest.
Kumo D went at me with some rap, he snapped on me, he took me to the mud. But it was fun.
Hold on, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but put that ball bullshit on hold. We gonna get right down to the nitty-gritty. Gonna tell you a little something why you ain't.
That one tape made so many $20 bills. Chill. Oh, Kumo D still owe me some money for that tape.
The tape that everyone has, that tape is a draw. No one knows that, or very few people really know that. We had to redo that battle 4 days later on New Year's Eve.
Kumo D came in as an executioner and fried them. And then Kumo D being able to carry it 4 years later into a challenge to LL Cool J. It was just incredible.
How you like me now?
I was truly a LL fan. So the way we got caught up in that whole diss and battle thing was directly, when I look back in retrospect, was because I had friends that knew him that went to my college, and they would come back and, oh, LL said this, he said that, he said he's making more money than you now, blah, 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 and then I would feed into it.
How you think it feel to see another MC get paid? Using my rap style, and I'm playing the background. Meanwhile, I ain't with that. You can't forget that. You take my style, I'm taking it back.
I Need Love was blazing, and at that time, I was just going in the studio to make How You Like Me Now. And I was like, okay, I'm going to add this bigger and better, forget about Deffer kind of thing, and just start it off. And when I did that, I remember his reaction was, it's not going to work, it's not going to come off. And then when the record got some momentum and got hot, he had to answer, so he did Jack the Ripper.
How you like me now, punk? You look foul. Here's what my name is. Killing what my name is. I watch up, rapper, do you watch up? My name is
It just escalated to this big thing where the crowd was picking sides.
It's like, you know, Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor standing on stage and telling jokes about one another, seeing who can win. It was no hard feelings. It was just for fun.
We never really hated each other. I know that no matter what I said, LL never really felt that I was a threat to his success or anything, and vice versa. It was just, again, a battle of wits.
South Bronx. South Bronx.
We came out with a record, dissing Shan, which was really, back then, the only way that you can really get known. I claim to be the best in the Bronx and called Shan out on his record, Queensbridge.
You love to hear the story again and again of how it all got started way back when. The monument is right in your face. Sit and listen for a while to the name of the place. The bridge.
Chris thought that I said hip-hop started in Queensbridge, but it was just in the beginning it says we're going to tell you a little story about where they come from.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got MC Shan and Molly Mall in the house tonight. She just came from off tour. They want to tell you a little story about where they come from.
That whole thing really started because we went to Mr. Magic to try to get a deal. We wanted to be down with the Juice Crew. He listened to our tape and told us pretty much it's not all of that. And Marley and Shan and Shantae and Biz and everybody was putting out great music. And we felt this.
So you think that hip-hop had its start out in Queensbridge? If you pop that junk up in the Bronx, you might not live, because you're in South Bronx.
We used to go around and do these battles all over the country, and it was like looking forward to every other show. What we going to do next? What we going to do next? And, well, and as a matter of fact, that was really like a turning point in hip-hop. Hip-hop was like dwindling then, and then all of a sudden it was like controversy was cool, but that was like, that South Bronx, Queens thing was like over the board then.
By people trying to prove they was better than the next people. That's how hip-hop grew. That's how you perfected the art of rhyming and delivery and stuff like that.
Yo, EMD. Yeah, what's up, man? There go that girl they call Roxanne. She's all stuck up. Why did you say that? Cause you wouldn't give a guy like me no rap. Man, she was walking down the street, so I said, hello, can't go from the TFO. And she so, I said, oh, baby, don't you know I can sing rap dance in just one show.
In our situation, as far as being a battle, you know, having this battle record or dissing or whatever, I don't understand that as far as Roxanne. In our song, what we said is, no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't get this young lady. She was dissing us.
I thought I had it in the palm of my hand. But man, oh man, if I was grand, I'd bang Roxanne. Roxanne, can't you understand? Roxanne, I wanna be your man.
Roxanne, the girl on the song, was somebody we made up. There was no such person. But the minute the record came out, trust me, there was a whole bunch of Roxannes.
Why'd you have to make a record on me? The ROXANNE.
The reason why I wound up making Roxanne's Revenge is because I didn't have nothing else to rap about at that time. It was like, that was like the biggest hit, and the beat was like so simple, and I knew automatically I could make up anything to this beat. You know, who could not rhyme off a big beat? It would have to be like someone, like some total idiot that could not rhyme off a big beat. So you heard boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam. I said, oh yeah, I can do that.
UTFO2, you know what you can do. Let me tell you one for me, and then I'll tell you one for you.
It wasn't like, oh yeah, I know Kango, and I know this one, and I know that one. I didn't even have no idea of what they look like.
Yeah, I am fly, and you must admit, but everybody knows I don't go for it. So if you're trying to be cute and you're trying to be fun, you need to cut it out because it's all in your mind.
Our beef with Shantae was real. We always went on stage and went at it. She'd go on before us, diss us. We'd go on after her and diss her.
You heard of Shantae, man? Let me tell you. We don't know them.
I had spies, and I'd say, look, so I could sabotage their show and make sure that it really, really goes totally messed up. I want to make sure that they really look whack. Go find out what they wore. Come back and tell me exactly what they had on. Go unplug a turntable. Go, I mean, that's really how bad it was.
Can't go and find a drug to your infection. Run for protection. Here's the injection.
Having the hit and trying to compete with it was strenuous. No matter what you do, they'll say, well, that's a good song, but it's not a Roxanne. We decided not to compete with it. We went into doing other things.
Live on stage. By the time I was 17, I had everything, house, car, even child. And it was like, okay, what else can I possibly have now that I didn't have before? And then it started kicking in, a life. I never got a chance to have a life. Yay! Yay! I'm a mom, twice over, and I'm a psychologist now.
I've been a manager, a vocal arranger, a vocalist. I've done a lot of jingles for Hot 97. That's the #1 station in New York City, hip-hop. Come on, girl, you can do it. There you go, knock 'em over.
97, 97, hit me with that R&B.
I didn't have a relationship with UTFO until 95, and we're talking 11 years after sharing one of the biggest hip-hop hits ever.
We spent years as enemies, but we're real good friends now. She sparked the whole Roxanne phenomenon.
I love Leaving a Legend. It's like, oh, okay, fine. People bring it up like, oh, Roxanne Shante, you were my favorite. Yeah, I remember you, and I like that.
I remember when I first heard Run DMC, when I heard Suck MC, that's when I knew the times was changing. It was like, out of here, you know what I'm saying? It was like,
That's the way it was designed. That's the way it always has been. The missing element was to be able to take these breaks, the place where the artist got a solo, whether it be the drummer or the bass. A lot of times these sections were too short. They were like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And I felt that was unjustly to the record because anything after that was the whack part. So I had to come up with a way to continuously take the sections and repeat them over and over and over again. So I was kind of like a human sampler.
We took those small sections of the records and cut it back and forth and extended it to like maybe a 15-20 minute segment, and in turn the rappers would just rap over it. So that's where we got the term rapping over the various beats. It was like just like the natives playing on the drums, but we found our own drums to play with, and we call them turntables.
When Grandmaster Flash actually made The Adventures of Grandmaster Flash on the Wheel of Steel, it was the first time you heard a record on a record. That was brilliant. Guys were rapping over, scratching, and over the record itself heavily for 2.5 to 3 years. When they moved into instruments, it was cute, but it really couldn't cover the aspect of what people were doing.
when we first started, we were making records with live drummers, live bass players, live musicians.
Most of the groups back in the day were using bands,
they were using bands,
which they actually were trying to make it sound like probably a sample.
Our knowledge of how to do music and how to make music grew as we went along, so the music advanced to different stages.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop us now.
The bands, faded out, and more, studio equipment came into effect.
Then we came into the drum machine era.
Because it really started with the Roland drum machine with Bambaataa on Planet Rock, who had taken Kraftwerk's Trans-Europe Express and included it with synthesizers. They went from band to beat machine like the DMX and the Linn drum, and then by the time 84 and 85 it was this drum machine, maybe some scratch, but the big sound.